Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior. Tech goes by many names. Business, fine art, forensic science. Some think it's just technical. But really, tech means everything. Scholarships, internships, championships. It's professors who make time for you one-on-one. It's putting everything on the line. It can be fierce. It can be fascinating. It can be awesome. Most important, it's believing in yourself and what you have to offer the world. Because at Indiana Tech, warriors are prepared to lead a significant life.
You're busy. You expect to say no sometimes. But what you didn't expect was a chance to say yes to a college degree while keeping your life. Indiana Tech is now offering Chicago area students undergraduate and graduate degree opportunities taught online by experienced faculty who care. Learn more at one of the new Indiana Tech enrollment centers in Naperville or Wilmette.
I can turn this in early? Sure, whenever you're ready.
Embrace the unexpected at Indiana Tech.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that there aren't very many energy programs out there. When I researched all of the various programs recently, there are really only 2 or 3 accredited engineering programs.
I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada originally. I came out here to Indiana Tech to actually go for the energy engineering program because of its uniqueness and its ability to get hands-on with the materials that I'm going to be using in the future.
Well, a few of the things I think that sets Indiana Tech apart is, number one, you have very small classes. You have very close relationships with your professors. When you have a class of 10 people, it's much easier to get to know the professor and get in contact with him than if you have a class of 30, 40, or 50. You're going to have the same professors for the majority of your classes. You're going to have the same classmates for the majority of your classes.
The more practical applications come in all the subsequent energy engineering classes. He transfers in a class that right after they're leaving the classroom, and the board is filled with calculus. So in order to understand a lot of these topics, they're going to need to understand the calculus there. Calculus is the study of the rate of change, how fast things change. And depending upon whether it's energy engineering, industrial engineering, or whatever, they're going to need to use that and apply that.
Professor Romary, he stands out to me the most right now because when I first got here, I had to take calculus, Calc 1, Calc 2. And he's one of the professors that teaches it. And he was a very kind and helpful guy, and he did whatever he could to help us out. He was very funny, always had a way of creatively teaching calculus to us that not a whole lot of people can do. And I think that and how he did it is going to be something that's going to stick for me for a very long time.
The field work that Indiana Tech can provide here is, for example, we have a 10 kilowatt windmill that the students can work with. We have a geothermal system for a couple of the buildings, for Utangsu and for Zollner, that uses geothermal principles to heat and cool the buildings in the summer and the winter.
The PV array system, training system that we have down here in the basement allows us to wire up the panels we have down in the basement to set it up as a off-the-grid system or a battery bank system, which helps us because we can see every component of the system actually intertwining and how they work together, which is something that may not be easily visible when you're on the job site in a career. So definitely my internship at SuperValue Incorporated was a very, very beneficial program for me to be in. It was more based on the process and logistical side of engineering of my degree, not necessarily the design aspect. It helped me really learn how the most efficient way to do a task and some of the boundaries that come with trying to make things more efficient.
One of the things that we've been very fortunate here at Indiana Tech is that we've had a grant through AEP to help subsidize our students in taking some of the various trips in spring break. Over the last 4 years, I have taken, along with a couple of other chaperones, I've taken almost a couple of dozen students to a trip to Germany and Switzerland that focused on renewable energy. We've gone to Iceland last year, focusing on geothermal energy, and we just recently returned from a trip to Costa Rica.
Just last year, I went to Iceland with a couple of our peers, not even just energy engineers, but a couple of other engineering majors went along with us. And for me, that was the highlight of my college time. I mean, we learned a lot about like geothermal systems and how they converted to a country of basically like ran just by geothermal. But it wasn't just learning about that, it was also learning about their culture as well, you know, and the past and the history and where they plan to go in their future. And all those things combined, I think, really kind of defines my experience here in Indiana Tech.
You can be the smartest engineer in the world, but if you cannot talk to or work with other engineers and non-engineers, it's very hard to get anything done. I try to teach my students that while you may not like writing, it's going to be a part of the job. You have to communicate. If you're doing experiments or testing hardware in the lab, you need to write it up so that other people know what you did, and the customer may want to know what are the results of that test.
Something I would remember most about the faculty would be just the one-on-one aspect of it and how open they are to hearing your problems and concerns and willing to assist you. Indiana Tech, with the class sizes being so small, you really get that one-on-one talking, everyday type relationship with your advisors and your professors. And having that is key to success, I feel, because being able to communicate with them and actually get your problems and questions across is going to help clarify things for you while you're in classes in school, which is going to set you up for success.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
Want to know what it means to be a warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a warrior's shoes. You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior.
Good evening, everyone, and we welcome you to the Schaefer Center here on the beautiful campus of Indiana Tech for tonight's WHAC matchup, a home WHAC opener for the Indiana Tech Warriors. Currently a team riding a little bit of a hot streak as they've won their last 4 all in straight sets. Thanks to, of course, the Liz Lukowski tournament and a win on the road at Defiance last week, or win at Lord's last week. Can they keep that run going against a very good 8-5 team in the Defiance Yellow Jackets? We'll find out coming up in roughly 7 minutes or so. But in the meantime, welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. Joe Northern, delighted to have you with us. Yes, a very good matchup on paper. Defiance coming in 8-5. They also swept the Hoosier. They also swept their side of the Liz Lukowski tournament, going 4-0, taking care of business in 2 straight sets on Saturday against West Virginia Tech and Milligan, and going 3-1 winners against Indiana Northwest and against St. Ambrose. And in fact, too, they are riding a 5-game winning streak with a win over Northwestern Ohio in their WAC openers. So again, a team that started off on the season at 2-3, now at 8-5, and having a 3-game losing skid in the middle. Story for the Hornets, again, really comes down to taking a look at who has been leading the way in terms of attacks, and no one else has done that more so than the junior outside hitter and Chaney Broadbeck, coming in with 153 kills into tonight's matchup. Gabby Rodriguez also leading up front with 114. Shelby Clements, another junior outside hitter, coming in with 90 on the season. As a team, Defiance comes in with 500 kills on the season. On the other hand, Indiana Tech, we mentioned, they're riding a 4-game winning streak, all in straight sets, mind you. And their kill percentage stands at .511 with 511 kills, only allowing their opponents 408 cumulative. Again, that's a cumulative number that we're taking a look at. And they're led by the Woodburn native and Lawrence Snyder with 136 kills. Kristen Matlick with 363 assists. Elsie McCutcheon with 195 digs, and Hannah Tyke commanding the front at 40 blocks. Again, we mentioned, too, Chaney Broadbeck, 153 kills, 256 assists for Haley Hammer. Chaney Broadbeck also leading in digs at 127. Taylor Kraft with 41 blocks. So really taking a look again at the tail of the tape between these two teams. Super even when you take a look at those team profiles. So it's just definitely have the feeling that this could be one of those matchups that could go the distance here tonight, but could be a matchup, too, that if the Warriors start early on a commanding attack and try to shut down Broadbeck, it could cause some issues for Coach Jeremy Thornburg in his second season for the Yellow Jackets. So we shall see. Both teams 1-0 in WHAC play, trying to go up to 2-0 and stay at the top of the table. When we come back in just a little bit, we will have your opening serve and starting lineups. Again, all important matchup tonight between these two teams. It is the first of 2 this season, and the home WAC opener here at the Schaefer Center. Glad you're with us here tonight. Defiance, Indiana Tech, coming up in just a moment. This is Indiana Tech Women's Volleyball on the Indiana Tech Digital Network.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260s dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I decided if I was going to come to Indiana Tech, I was going to be a different kind of instructor. I was really going to focus on connecting with students, teaching the students the theory that they needed, and also the practical applications.
Very practically, what that looks like is smaller class sizes. So my class sizes are the 8 to 10 up to maybe 20. And that's backed up with, we have 18 hours of office hours every week. I'm sitting in my office waiting for students to come in to talk about anything. It doesn't just have to be with the classroom.
In the College of Engineering, we have ABET accreditation for mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and biomedical engineering. ABET is the top accrediting board for engineering in the United States and probably in the world.
Another thing that is a very different approach at Indiana Tech, I think, that some other universities, is we try and make sure they have a lot of lab experience in the engineering department. All engineering programs are going to have laboratory courses, but in our laboratory courses we try to get them not just exposure to measurements and exposure to some of the devices that you'll be used, but I like to actually assign projects that are, realistic projects.
Those projects, this project-based learning, help students to work together in a group and be hands-on with their the material or the product that they're creating. Engineering students at Indiana Tech to me, stand out because I know that they've had a lot of experiences working in groups, working on projects, doing lab experiments to help them understand the material, and I think that prepares them well for industry.
First thing I'll tell a high school student is study, study, study. Get all the math you can possibly get. I honestly believe that the critical thinking skills you learn in math courses will help you with engineering courses.
The type of knowledge base that students should have coming in, they need to be problem solvers and critical thinkers. Those two things are really the essence of engineering. Regardless of flavor, they're going to need to figure out, there's a problem here, how do I solve it? And they need to think critically about that. They need to observe, listen to people, and then kick in those problem-solving skills to solve the problem.
Part of the growth of Indiana Tech has involved an increasing number of international students. So I think if we can expose students to different ideas, different cultures, again, it makes them that much more competitive in the marketplace.
In the Fort Wayne area, we have lots of large companies, BAE Systems, Fort Wayne Metals, General Motors, Raytheon, Harris Corporation, and the list goes on. We have a lot of employers that want our engineering students.
Indiana Tech, I think, continues to serve students even beyond their graduation. We really strive to keep in touch with our alumni on a personal level just to see how they're doing, but then also they want to give back to the university because of the experiences they've had here, so they want to provide opportunities for other students here as well.
Starting lineups now being introduced for the Defiance Yellow Jackets. Number 4, Haley Hammer. Number 7, Gabby Rodriguez. Number 9, or number 10, we should say, Jalen Tomalotz. Number 14, Shelby Clements. Number 25, Chaney Broadbeck, as we mentioned at the top. Libero, number 28, Kylie Yoder. Meanwhile, for Indiana Tech in their home regular season opener, they had the Liz Lukowski tournament over the weekend. For Indiana Tech, lineup's going to look a little bit like this. Number 5, Emmeline Wood, the Fort Wayne native, wearing number 5. Hannah Tyke, the Elkhart native. Again, we mentioned that she's been leading the way when it comes to blocks this season. Number 10, Kristen Matleck, the setter freshman from Norwalk, Ohio. Number 12, Jacqueline Allaway from Kankakee, Illinois. Done a great job up the middle of the season for IT. From Lafayette, Cassidy Boner coming in, the 5'7" senior defensive specialist. And the sophomore outside hitter we've mentioned, Lauren Snyder. Or Lauren Snyder, we should say. And the libero going to be number 2, Elsie McCutcheon. As Matt Fishman, head coach for the Warriors in his 4th season. Jeremy Thornburg in his 2nd season. So both teams riding winning streaks as it stands here in 2025. Or we should say in the month of September, it's been a tale of winning streaks. Defiance has won 5 in a row and won their WAC opener against the Racers of Northwestern Ohio. Tech getting their win on the road against Lourdes. So Tech is going to be in the black jerseys. Defiance is going to be, or We should say Tech is going to be in the black jerseys, orange numbers, white outlines, and the orange stripe down the middle of the sleeves and on the shirts. Meanwhile, for Defiance, they'll have the purple jerseys with the gold sleeves, old gold sleeves, we should say. Gold letters that say Defiance and gold numbers in white outlines. Libero's Indiana Tech will be in the orange crush uniform with the white numbers and white letters. Libero's for Defiance, old gold numbers and black jerseys. And both with the Nike swoosh on the upper left side of the jersey. Glad you're with us here tonight. All important WAC home opener as one of these two teams is going to go up to 2-0. And speaking with the coach, Matt Fishman, before the broadcast today, saying our team's a little bit younger, their team's a little bit older. It's going to be very interesting to see since they both have very complementing styles when watching the film comparatively to each other. And even when watching again, getting the chance to glimpse over at Defiance during the Liz Lukowski tournament last weekend, a team that has certainly got high sights of continuing to really make things interesting in the WHAC. And thanks again to its dual forces in attacks with Chaney Broadbeck and Gabby Rodriguez. So glad you're with us. First of several games we'll have for you at the Schaefer Center this season. Do want to let you know we are going to be at a static cam angle tonight, but I will do the best I can to let you know what's going on for some of the vantage points you can't see from our standpoint, and continue to tell you the best story possible as we can. So serving now to the left is number 4 in Haley Hammer, the 5'7" sophomore setter from Cecil, Ohio. As Hammer gets this up across back row, we're underway. Chance upcoming now, Snyder. Snyder into the net on the board. As it could not get up in time for IT. And the Hornets sting first, 1-0. Again, another swing coming from Hammer. Gets this one over opposite side. Now they go to Tyke. Tyke blocked up. Tip still kept live. Battle at the net. And another chance up front. Again, they go to Alway. A dig on the back end from Alway. Now lobs it over. Back row they go. Connection up front to Clements. Clements tip back. Snyder gets her hands on it. Tries to go for the long tip in the back. Still saved. Goes over to the hands of Yoder. Yoder tipped over. Chance up front. Finds Rodriguez. Rodriguez continuing to keep it alive. Snyder tipped up. Got it out of play. So the quick hammer out of play and out of the box. And we are even at 1. And a quick 45-second rally to get things started here in the first. And it feels like it's going to be that kind of night here at the Schaefer Center, isn't it? This one brought up opposite side. Now another chance. Gets over to Rodriguez. Rodriguez brought up by Tyke. Tyke again connecting. Finds Pasca. Pasca still keeping it alive. They go again to Rodriguez. Rodriguez, light tip. Saved in Tech territory. They go back to Snyder. Tip down front and into the net. It's going to go against Defiance. As Gabby Rodriguez got a little bit too close for comfort, according to our down official. So just like that, 2-1 advantage of IT early on here in set number 1. And great matchup in stores. This one sails out of box and out of play, 2-2. So certainly a lot of back and forth is going to be the name of the game here in this one. As Defiance again coming in at 8-5 in the regular season. And an ace on the board in the meantime. 42nd of the season for Defiance. And they rattle on 2 in a row. As the Tech student section right in front of us as that sails out of play. So 1 ace, 1 error. Before that, 1 error on the board for Hannah Tyke. Three our score here in the first. Just getting underway. Again, it's always about trying to find that little word called momentum. And certainly off the hands of Haley Hammer is the way to go for it. 4-3 advantage Defiance. As Indiana Tech going to have some work left to do. Chance now swung opposite side. They go to Kylie Yoder. Yoder Low and up the middle. Saved for the meantime by Boner. Heads down to Snyder. It is out of the box. And the Hornets now want a quick 3-0 run to start here in the first. And can they continue to find a way to keep the drive alive? Chance again upcoming for Yoder. Yoder sails it back over to Boner. Now back to Snyder. Snyder tipped down. Still kept live. They go back to the defined zone. Dug up again by Boner. Chance now. Snyder blocked at the net. As Gabby Rodriguez answers with a commanding block up front. And the Yellow Jackets starting off strong. 4-0 run. And now make it 6-3. So the Yellow Jackets off to a commanding start. Rattling off 4 in a row as the Warriors trying to find some answers here. Chance again, tipped up front. Dogged save to the meantime by McCutcheon. By McMeechin, we should say. Snyder answers right back to make it now 6-4. And getting a little loud here at the Schaefer Center. Of course, you can see the fans from this vantage point. But on the backside, again, a lot kind of in front of us as we're standing. So we are on the right side of the left side of the Schaefer Center, near center court. As this one sails out of play. And the Defiance boys volleyball team making an appearance here tonight, cheering on their Yellow Jackets on the women's volleyball side. Another chance upcoming. This one swung out and still kept alive by Boner. They go back to number 14 in Schultz, but that sails out of the box. And it's 8-4, and Coach Matt Fishman and company want to take a moment. So 8-4 advantage of Defiance early on here in set number 1. Back in a moment.
Want to know what it means to be a warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a warrior's shoes.
Good luck, Tammy.
See you, David.
Things happen. How do you make the unexpected happen? Take the next step with an online degree from Indiana Tech. Start with a visit to one of our 2 new Chicago area enrollment centers in Naperville or Wilmette. You'll discover a wide range of affordable undergraduate and graduate degrees with flexible class schedules designed to fit your lifestyle and help you earn a degree sooner than you'd expect. Embrace the unexpected at
8-4 our score as Defiance now in the midst of a 6-1 run since Tech was up 3-2 early on here in the first, but Defiance certainly trying to make it awfully interesting. Brought over, deflected up front, tipped down, and into the net, still kept live. Another chance up front again for Snyder. Lobbed back to the opposite corner, and goes over to Clements. Tech's going to have to reset here. It sails out of the box. And the attack errors have certainly been haunting the Warriors here tonight. Has already 5 attack errors on the board for Indiana Tech. And it's a 7-1 run in advantage of Defiance. But that one sails out of the box and a chance to reset. Defiance, again, one of the newest members of the WHAC. As we would talk about series history between these two teams, but not too much of one to report, as they've only faced off against each other twice. And Tech has won both times, both matches coming last season. This one swung down, still kept live. Now another chance goes to McCutcheon. McCutcheon. Lobbed back again, but into the net it goes off the hands of Pasca. And it's 10-5 Defiance. And so the Warriors going to have to try to find some work to do here in the first. Still very early in the match. But again, the work is certainly going to have to start building up just a little bit more. This one lobbed over opposite corner and not going to work for Schultz as she sails that out of play. So our lead now to 7, or 6 we should say. 11-5 advantage of the Yellow Jackets. And again, they've done a great job of commanding the front attacking line. But have done it off the attack errors, where Tech currently credited for 6. Make it 7. And 2 service aces for Defiance. 2 assists, 2 kills on the board for the Yellow Jackets. Is that last one credited by Cheney Broadbeck. 12-5 our score. This one lobbed over opposite corner. They go back to connect to McCutcheon. McCutcheon tipped down, lobbed, and out of play. So this one batted off the hands of Taylor Kraft, not going to work. And so the Warriors now going to have to try to battle back here as they trail by 6. 12-6 our score. The Warriors again trying to ride the momentum, but certainly have some work left to do. This one brought up front, patted down, and down it in. Got it off the top, off number 8, and Kira Hans. And as you can kind of adjacently see, the student section doing the pat on the head up top. 12-7 Warriors trying to battle back here late in the middle stages of the first. Here's a swing out of play. Tyke was looking for a hand, could not get it to go. And it's 13-7. And so the Warriors, again, the attack errors have not been kind to them this evening. It's been the difference in scoring as it stands right now. 13-7. This one sails out. And again, a great crowd here tonight at Schaefer Center. Some purple and old gold in the building. But a very partisan Tech home crowd all around. And bringing it over now is number 16 in Cassidy Boner. She goes back row to connect over to Shaman. Shaman, little deflection into the net, but it goes against Tech. And the lead back to 6, 14-8. Midway through here in set number 1. Joe Northern, delighted to have you with us again. Single cam setup here tonight. But we'll do our best to again try to bring you all the action as we can. Here's Haley Hammer now to bring it across. Hammer, run, jump, serve. Gets this over back into Tech territory. Lobbed out from Snyder. Back row they go. Great dig in time. Now another chance. Blocked again. Tech got a run for it, and they do. Here's Snyder. Dogged save to the meantime by Broadbeck. Lobbed again to Rodriguez. They have to get it over. Snyder saves it in time. Now again in Defiance territory. Dug up by McCutcheon. Snyder looking for the chance and in! And the commanding swing across. Gets it on the board. As we take a look at that again when we have a second. 14-9, Tech with the advantage. Tyke got an ace! Tyke with a quick ace. As we take a look again at the big commanding swing from Snyder one more time to make it 14-9. As she gets the back corner ready to go. That one sails out of play, and the lead back to 5. 15-10 advantage of Defiance. But the Warriors certainly tried to knock on the door late here in set number 1. Chance again into the net. 15-11 our score. And the push now coming on the opposite side as we see number 18. Actually, number 16, I beg your pardon. Boner now bringing it over. Actually, that's Pasca, I beg your pardon. Pasca gets it on the dig and the return. They go back over to Schultz. Schultz again. Tip save in time. They go back up front to connect with Clements. Clements still keeps it alive. McCutcheon, it's a lift call. They actually ruled that into the nets. So a little bit of cheering coming from the orange and black, cheering from the purple and gold. And back to a 5-point game, 16-11. Tip, oh my goodness, what a save by Pasca. Now another chance, lob down, Pasca sails it out. Or Matlick, I should say, sails it out, not Pasca. So Matlick was looking for the angle, could not get it to go. Now make it 17-11. That's dug up again. They go to Matlick on the assist. Swung down and in. As Amelia Schultz gets the quick point on the board to cut it back to 5. So the Warriors try to dig themselves out of what has been, at the most, a 7-point hole. They've been able to cut it at 4 points, but 5 has been the average in the mid-late stages here in the first. Lob back up front to McCutcheon. McCutcheon, they go back to Schultz. Schultz strikes it down! Schultz with a big swing on top. And just like that, the Warriors cut it back to within 4, 17-14. Take a look at that again one more time. Swung down and in for Rodriguez. So Rodriguez with the big swing up the middle. And the lead back to 5. And a very entertaining, very loud crowd here tonight at the Schaefer Center. Chance again upcoming. This one lobbed over from Chamon. Tipped over by Schultz. Got it! Amelia Schultz certainly leading the way right now in kills for IT. As she's got 4. Up there with Snyder. Or Schultz, we should say, with 3. Snyder has 4. But a big resurgence from number 14. Schultz, does she do it again? She does! Amelia Schultz again with a commanding swing. And the Warriors cut it back to 3, 18-15. Take a look at that again one more time. Again, she's doing a great job of finding those outer edges of the box. McCutcheon across. Gets this high tipped. Dug up and saved by Hans. Schultz! Yes, sir! Schultz is on a roll. And Defiance wants to stop and think it over. Back in a moment.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
We have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a Warrior. Go Warriors.
Well, all of a sudden, Indiana Tech, trailing by as many as 7, has now cut it down to 2 here in set number 1. Joe Northern, delighted to have you with us. The Warriors, again, commanding the opportunity up front as we can see a big lineup here tonight between these two teams. Chance up coming again now for McCutcheon. McCutcheon lobs it across. They get this back opposite side. Connects over to Clements. Clements off the tip and in. As Clements found the angle she was looking for, and it's 19-16 advantage of Defiance. They have not trailed in the set since 2-3 in the first. But the Warriors certainly very much on the ropes and alive. Down, tip it in. Kira Hans gets the deflection. And it's a 2-point game advantage of Defiance. So can the Warriors find a way to even it up and steal a first? Here's Emmeline Wood, the Fort Wayne native. Brought over and a big swing up front as Lauren Olenek, the right side specialist, gets it. And the lead back to 3 for the Yellow Jackets. So 20-17 our score. And Defiance again doing a commanding job of trying to bend but not break. The Warriors certainly making them work for it here. Another chance. They go over to Tyke. Pivoted, out of play. As Hannah Tyke answers the call and gets the tip to cut it down to a 2-point game. 20-18 our score here in the first. The Warriors certainly ever so closer. Can they find a way to pull away here in the first? Lobbed back again, opposite side. Blocked and out of play. As the swing went wide off the hands of Matlick. And the kill again going to be credited to Chaney Broadbeck, the Archibald, Ohio junior. So 21-18. Can Defiance again find a way to pull forward? This one goes up the middle. Chance again, back to Snyder. Mid-row they go. Into the net. And on the board for IT. And that's going to go against the Hammer, Haley Hammer. So we'll lead back to 2. 21-19. And who else but the block leader in Hannah Tyke to bring it over. Tyke goes mid-row. Still kept alive in the box from Rodriguez. Chance swung down, saved. Rodriguez again, tipped over and got it. A generous bounce right over the heads of Alway. And it's 22-19. Advantage of Defiance. And Tech will stop to think it over. So 22-19. While we talk about what's at stake, of course, we do mention this is only these two teams' second respective regular season matchup in league play, we should say. As Tech was on the road last Wednesday night, got the win at Defiant, got the win at Lord's, I beg your pardon. But it was Defiance who got the win over Northwestern Ohio in straight sets on Wednesday. And taking a look at games played, again, outside of Aquinas, no two teams have played more matches than anybody in the WHAC as it stands. Aquinas has played 13. Defiance has played 13 coming into tonight. Tech, this is their 13th. So Defiance, again, their 14th. Aquinas with their 14th as well. We'll get you updated on some of the other scores going on in league action as the evening progresses. But again, two teams that have had more reps in the 2025 season as it stands so far. So we'll get you updated on some of the other games coming up as the night goes on, as all 10 teams in action, 5 matches on the docket in the WHAC. But 22-19 is our score here in the first, as Defiance trying to pull away and get a set 1 victory. As Broadbeck brings it across. Now another chance, swung down from Snyder, still kept live. They go again on the tip, finds Rodriguez, still kept live by McCutcheon. And Snyder with the pre-ball pass opportunity. Now another swing, down, tip in. On the board this time for Jalen Tumulets. And the Yellow Jackets extend it to a 4-point game, 23-19. Blocked up front from Always, still kept live. Tipped back. Matlick pivots back to Snyder. Back row they go. Right up the middle. Matlick again. Saved in the interim by Hammer. Hammer again gets us over to Tomlitz. That is out of the box. As Shelby Clements sails it to her right. At a 23-20 game here in the first. And what an intriguing one we have so far here in WAC play. Here's Matlick. Dug up by Yoder. Run up into the net and got it. A deflection going against the hands of Gabby Rodriguez. And so the Warriors now cut it to within 2. They rattle off 4 in a row. What a nice little rally that might be to close out the first. But you have the hunch that this could be a long match here tonight. And with good reason. Matlick gets it over to Clements. Clements now opposite side. Chance up to Snyder. There's a whistle. And it's a point for Defiance. Game point. Looking to see what the call is. Our up official not signifying anything. But potentially may have been a lift. Yep, it is ruled the lift. As we see the call from the down official from our vantage point. Here's Yoder. Yoder gets it over. Chance upcoming for Schultz. Schultz, they go back row. Saved in the meantime for Yoder. Free ball chance. Got to go for the bump set spike. Schultz. Got it. Well, hang on. Still kept live. What a save by Rodriguez. Now another chance. Snyder blocked. Blocked again by Rodriguez. Schultz again. Opposite side. This time it goes. As Schultz had to battle back multiple times on the point, but nonetheless gets it on the board. And it's 22-24. Here's Paige Rudder now to bring it over. Rudder going up front. They find Clements. Off the hands of Rudder. This one's over. So Defiance bends but not breaks in the first as they take down the Warriors in the first. Still a long match to go. Now we have a feeling it very well could be that case here tonight. 25-22, we go to the second. Coming up in just a moment, this is Indiana Tech Women's Volleyball on the Indiana Tech Digital Network.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our camera. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
We have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a Warrior. Go Warriors.
You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior.
We go to the second as Defiance gets the win in set number 1. They had a 7-point lead at one point in set number 1, but the Warriors trying to charge back one way or another. Still have some work left to do here in set number 2. Joe Northern, delighted to have you with us, get you updated on some of the other action happening across in the WHAC. They are in the second over at the Garage, where Northwestern Ohio commands a 25-12 win over Lords. They're just headed to the second. Cornerstone winning the first over Siena Heights, 25-20. They are even at 19 at last glance for Rochester and Madonna, even at 19. Lawrence Tech on the verge of shutting down Michigan Dearborn, 24-18 over at the UM Dearborn Fieldhouse. So again, busy night of conference play. Busy nights on Friday night for conference play too, mind you, with 4 interleague matchups, or 5 interleague matchups, we should say. Actually, there will be 4 interleague matchups coming up next week. This one swung down, tipped it in time. And so Tech strikes first here in set number 1. It's this one. Brought across opposite side, but could not find the answer. And a quick answer back on the board for the hands of Defiance. But this one sailing back on board for IT. 2-1. Take a look at least in scoring leaders. We should take that back. Friday night will be a full conference slate. 2 teams idle tonight, we should say, on the schedule. But the tip does not go in time to make it now 2-2. Take a look at some scoring leaders and at least some key stats after the first. Really, teams even on kills. In fact, Indiana Tech leading on kills with 14-13, but the attack errors 8, especially early on. 7 of those early on in set number 1. The Yellow Jackets only with 4. 2 aces also on the board for Defiance. Quick swing tip in time for Clements, as Clements gets the answer rather quickly now to make it 3-2 advantage of the Yellow Jackets. We'll look to see how does that momentum look for both teams across the board. This one brought over this time by Kylie Yoder. Yoder gets it back row to connect over with Boner. Boner lobbed back to find McCutcheon. McCutcheon again gets this across, finds Hammer. Hammer lobbing it over. Another chance, tip down, and lobbed back coming from the hands of Holloway. Holloway could not get it to go. This one sailed by Wood out of the box. And so Defiance getting a quick 3-0 surge, just like we saw in the first. So the Warriors, again, going to have to try to play catch-up in more ways than one here in the second. Still plenty of time left here in set number 2. But it has certainly been the Warriors having to play catch-up. A big block again down and end for Clements, as Clements has been sensational on kills. That's her 5th of the night, currently 5 for 11 with an error at .364. Sailed over back for Snyder. Lob tipped by McCutcheon, still kept live. Brought over by Hans on the free opportunity. Now here comes Defiance. Good Rodriguez gets it down. And it feels like deja vu all over again. If you are Defiance and if you're Indiana Tech. 6-2 our score. Another swing in the back row. They go to connect with Snyder. Strikes this one down, and they rule that it was out of the box. That is ruled out of the box. And so the Yellow Jackets again starting set number 2 just like they did in the first. This time with a 6-0 run to start here in the second. So the Warriors going to have to try to regroup just a little bit more as they take a pause on the court to at least confirm the scoring situation at the table. As you can see, our down official speaking at the table. So as they are getting that in order, we do want to let you know on some of the other action going across this week here at Indiana Tech. And men's and women's soccer, 12th ranked men's team coming off a loss against William Carey. They are playing right now at Grace. And that game is still at nothing with 14:49 left in the first. Tech coming in 3-1-1. Tech, Grace, we should say 2-1-2. As they will not be back at Warrior Athletic Field until Saturday the 27th when they welcome Cornerstone on the men's side. Same thing for the women as well, as they will be back on the pitch coming up on Monday. Or we should say they will be back on the pitch coming up Monday as they take on Campbellsville University here at Warrior Athletic Field. Early time for that one, 1 p.m. against the 18th ranked Tigers, as the women's soccer team looking for their first win in 2025. Again, take a look at kind of some of the more stats we've seen here in this matchup. Currently, Indiana Tech led up front by really two leaders, we should say. Number 14, and Amelia Schultz, the senior from Decatur, Indiana. So the Belmont native, the Belmont High School native, 6 for 12 at .417, has an error in there. Lauren Snyder, the Woodburn native, 5 for 18, 3 errors as it stands so far, as the errors have been certainly coming back to haunt it. And they rule the point for Tech. They rule it inside the box. So the point is going to be reversed. And they rule it inside. As the Tech student section erupted with their positive affirmation. Defiance may or may not have lifted a gesture or two. Nonetheless, we play on. 6-3. This one sailed across, finds Clements. Gets it back to connect over to Rodriguez. Rodriguez sailed over to Snyder. This time, points on the board. And an overhand call going to go against IT. And so Defiance gets that point back, 7-3. And the Yellow Jackets again traveling very well here. Only their second ever meeting here at Indiana Tech. And their third meeting of all time. So you can see again, down official discussing with Coach Matt Fishman. And now they're both trying to plead their case up top. So for Indiana Tech, you see number 10, Kristen Matlick, trying to plead her case. But for Defiance, number 25, and Cheney Broadbeck So they're trying to get an answer for it and share that over to Coach Matt Fishman. So again, they rule that into the net, or at least we should say an overhand call, but nonetheless, it's going to stay with Defiance. 7-3 our score. Anna Shimon brings it across. Another chance, swung back over to Schultz. Schultz strikes it down and in. And a bounce into the face as well. As we take a look at that again one more time off the hands from the Decatur native. And the lead back to 3, 7-4. Is this the momentum swing the Warriors are looking for right now? Chance again upcoming, over to Clements. Clements sends it back over to McCutcheon. McCutcheon, opposite side, hits down over to Hans. Hans saves in the interim. They go to Broadbeck, middle row, off the tweeter, and on the board for Clements. So the Yellow Jackets doubling up 8-4. And what has certainly felt a lot closer than 8-4 here in the match thus far. And a push across, give it again for IT. Another chance, tip over. They go over to Schultz. Schultz again, opposite side. Schultz hits this one, tipped, and out of the box. As Rudder sails it all the way to the concession corner. And it's 9-4 advantage of Defiance. So the Warriors, so the Yellow Jackets have done a great job of picking apart the Indiana Tech attack. And they continue to keep it going. Duck up by McCutcheon. Save back over to Hans. Down and in. As Hans gets it in time, they'll also rule potentially that being a little too close for comfort on number 21 and Lauren Olenek. And it will be too close to comfort. 9-5. Sailed over, opposite side, tipped down low. They got to try to keep this live, and they can, and they do. They go to the back, connecting over to Clements. Sailed out. Was it out? It is out! It is out of the box! And the cheering coming from the Defiance, but cheers from the black and orange. And a timeout called by the Yellow Jackets. We'll look to see. Actually, no, this will not be a timeout. Instead, will be a stoppage at the table. But 9-6 in a matchup that it certainly feels like you've had everything here at this point, and you're only in set number 2. So 9-6. The ruling on the court does stand. Currently as a Defiance point. But as they do take a stop at the table just to confirm the point of the board for Indiana Tech. As they are going to the replay monitor. Again, we've seen this at the NCAA level. And waiting to get the confirmation on what this is going to be. So it will stay with Defiance. And they reverse the point. So no Tech point, and it goes back to Defiance. And a gut punch for IT. As they ruled a tip off the hands on the replay. So already second replay we've seen here tonight. Broadbeck brings it over. Chance again for Hans. Hans goes again to the back row, connects over with Clements. Hits this one high and got it. Deflected off the hands of Hans. And it's a 6-point game, 11-5 advantage of Defiance. So again, one replay going in advantage of IT, the other to Defiance. And a quick ace on the board for the Yellow Jackets. 12-5 our score. Coach Matt Fishman wants to stop and talk it over. Back in a moment. This is Indiana Tech women's volleyball.
Want to know what it means to be a warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a warrior's shoes.
Good luck, Tammy.
See you, David.
Things happen. How do you make the unexpected happen? Take the next step with an online degree from Indiana Tech. Start with a visit to one of our 2 new Chicago area enrollment centers in Naperville or Wilmette. You'll discover a wide range of affordable undergraduate and graduate degrees with flexible class schedules designed to fit your lifestyle and help you earn a degree sooner than you'd expect. Embrace the unexpected at Indiana Tech.
You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior.
(12-5) our score. Defiance certainly opening the door, but we'll have some work left to do. As it's sailed back on the opposite side. They get this over and out of play. So stopping the run for a moment to make it 12-6. But not enough, and back on the board for Defiance. (13-6) our score here in set number 2, and the Yellow Jackets again finding a way to pick apart and really throw off this Warrior attack thanks to the tips and the deflections. Well, the Warriors have done a great job of trying to attack the back of the box. It's been the front line, and thanks to number 25 and Shady Broadbeck for answering the call on her end. As Broadbeck gets a commanding tip up front, and the lead now up to 8, 14-6 here in set number 2. And so the Yellow Jackets again riding on all cylinders. And the second ace here in the second, and it's 15-6. And all coming from the hands of their star setter in Haley Hammer. Already her second ace of the night. Nearly grazed for 3. Here's Hans, tip, scores. Kira Hans gets the commanding swing and at least tries to throw off Defiance in the meantime. But again, an 8-point advantage, 15-7. As the Yellow Jackets have a commanding 8-point lead. Largest lead has been 9 tonight. That one sails out of play. As the Defiance boys or men's volleyball team chanting, "There's no court there." Broadbeck, make it ace number 3 in the set for the Yellow Jackets. And it's 17-7. As we take a look again, aces so far. That's the 5th one tonight. Broadbeck getting her second. Broadbeck, make it 6. 18-8 as that goes through the lookway on the opposite sides of the court here at Indiana Tech. And 18-7. And Defiance on a roll right now. Another swing tip across. Goes tipped over and on the board for IT as they get the deflection in time. But that being said, Defiance up by double digits by 10. as the attack errors and service errors not been kind to the Warriors here this evening. Brought over off screen this time from Hannah Tyke. Tyke gets it over. They sail this, tipped away. Tyke's got to go in the reception. Gets it back to find Emmeline Wood. Emmeline Wood swung up, down and in. A commanding top corner swing from Gabby Rodriguez. And it's 19-8 Yellow Jackets. And again, in speaking with Coach Fishman before the broadcast, he said, today will certainly be interesting. We have a younger core. Defiance has a veteran core up front, and they have certainly been the dominant force, especially here in set number 2. Tip up front. Now another chance upcoming. They go over to Hammer. Hammer tipped off the board. And the Yellow Jackets up by a baker's dozen. (20-8) as Defiance team at 9-4 in the regular season, or 8-5 in the regular season, we should say. Looking ever so closer to try to go up 2-0 in WAC play, and are a game and a third away from doing so. But a point back on the board for IT to at least try to restart the run. But they'll have to try to go quite a rally here with a little room for error, but not too much. That helps. The swing across from the freshman from Norwalk, Ohio, Kristen Matlick. Matlick gets it over. And it's 20-10. Can Matlick do it again? Sails this one back row. Now another chance. Block tip up front. Still kept live and out of play. They forced the deflection. And now the Warriors certainly try to make a little more noise. So they trail by 9. Largest deficit has been 12. Can they find a way back? Keep in mind they stormed back in the first. Got it down to 2. Over to Schultz. Schultz to Snyder. Dug up by Broadbeck. Broadbeck tipped. Saved in the meantime by McCutcheon. McCutcheon goes over to Schultz. Schultz again. Loud back opposite side. Finds Rodriguez. Rodriguez tip. Still in the corner. Now another chance again, this time for Dickinson. Saved by McCutcheon. The rally is certainly on. Snyder tipped, but saved by Rodriguez. They go to Hammer. Tip over to Clements. Clements swings it over and on the board. And a bounce off the net. Gets it in time, 21-11. They're looking to see if maybe a net reach is a possibility, but not the case. And it's a 10-point game advantage of the Yellow Jackets. Here's the push again now from Shimon. Into the net. And 22-11 as the Yellow Jackets have gone on spurts of 5-6 points in a row, while Tech has been trying to find an answer, but have not been able to here tonight. Chance up coming up front, goes back over to Snyder. Tipped out, and this one deflected off the hands of Shelby Clements. So an opportunity to reset here. 22-12 here in the second. Defiance leads the match 1-0. They won the first 25-22. Partially, again, Defiance is up by as many as 7 in the first. Can they keep adding more on here? Great block up front from Alway. Now another chance up front for Clements. Duck up by McCutcheon. Tip again from Alway. Still keeps it in time. Now another chance. And to the net it goes. Off the hands of Broadbeck. And the Warriors certainly trying to march on here in the second. But they trail by 9. Try to even the match at 1 game apiece. Into the net it goes. 10-point game, 23-13. And the Warriors, again, have been trying to find an answer for Defiance, but The Yellow Jackets have done a commanding job of placement on the swings, getting the front line in time. And a side out again this time for the Warriors. And it's a one more point opportunity. And an 11-point game, 24-13. As they tie the shoe, it'll come off the hands again from the Monrovia, Indiana native, and Shelby Clements. 24-13 our score. Clements gets this across. Clements sails it over. Finds Hans. Blocked up front again by the Yellow Jackets. Hans again on the swing. This time it goes. Shelby Hans gets this big tip up front. And so can Indiana Tech find a magical run of their own right now. McCutcheon sails tip and still live. Back up front for Dickinson. Dickinson again on the run. Block tip down. Still kept live over to Schultz. Schultz again on the run. Tipped over. Opposite side. Sails out. And that is how the second will come to a close. It has been all Defiance in the second. They are on their way of trying to go 2-0 in WAC play. The Warriors still not holding back anytime soon. Back with the third in a moment. This is Indiana Tech Women's Volleyball on the Indiana Tech Digital Network.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior. Want to know what it means to be a warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a warrior's shoes.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
We have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a warrior. Go Warriors.
You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior.
We head to the third, and one of kind of the rally cries, at least hearing from some of the coaching staff, that at least down at our vantage point was just quite simply, we have nothing else to lose. We're already down 2-0, What else do we have to lose? We've got nothing to lose. Let's freaking get out there. And certainly the Warriors looking to do just that here in set number 3. Try to at least go to a fourth and then see what happens from there. This is often one of the most unpredictable sports, again, because of those quick spurts you see in the middle of things. And then the late stretches on the opposite side can certainly make some noise as well. Let's take a look at some stats in set number 2 as it stands right now. Defiance has been doing it with the aces and the blocks. 7 aces and 3 block solos and 2 block assists as it stands right now. The Warriors with 4 blocks assists. And a swing down from Schultz gets this started. 1-0. But the reception errors and the attack errors have not been kind to IT tonight. They've got 11 and 7 respectively. Kills, however, fairly even. Defiance at 25. Tech with 24. Sailed over on the opposite side from Broadbeck. Broadbeck tipped over and a lift. That's going to go against the Yellow Jackets, and just like that, a quick start on the board for IT as they go up 2-0. Their largest lead tonight has indeed just been by 2. Make it 3! And it's all thanks to the Woodburn native. And Lawrence Snyder, the sophomore outside hitter, key component of that Warrior program that still has a lot of aspirations at the Class 2 level of the IHSAA. Chance again, move forward. This goes to Rodriguez, dug up by McCutcheon. McCutcheon finds Snyder, swung down and in! It is Schultz on the swing! And it's 4-0 IT! And the Warriors now climbing all the way back. They're up to a 4-0 advantage, continuing to add on their largest lead tonight. Dug up in the back row. Saved again. Great push coming in from Snyder. Now they go to Hans. Hans, that is out of the box. They were looking to see if it maybe grazed off a shoulder or not, but it is out of the box. And now make it 4-1 advantage of the Warriors. Here's the pushover again now to Broadbeck. Broadbeck opposite side. Broadbeck gets it over. Broadbeck chased down, got it. As Hans gets the point. The freshman from Independence, Kentucky. And the Warriors now finding a little bit of that extra mojo with that rally cry. What do we have left to lose? Here's Tyke. Raises across and an ace. A generous bounce off the hands of number 7. Quickly show that to you one more time. As Tyke gets that down and in. Now another chance. They got to go midcourt. Saved by Rodriguez. And now over to Tech territory. Schultz on the swing. And a 6-point lead in advantage of IT. And the Warriors now trying to come on strong here in the third. To at least fight to try to go for 5. There's the push again. Tyke again on the serve. Lobbed over to Hans. Hans up the middle. Gets this across. Finds Clements. Clements scores. And Shelby Clements quickly gets the points. And it's 7-2. Advantage of IT. But the Warriors, their largest lead tonight. And trying to stay ahead of the action. They lead by 5. Chance now coming for Kylie Yoder. Yoder lobs this to the back row. Chance again upcoming. Not high enough for number 6, Olivia Craken. So 7-3. And Defiance now riding the ship just a little bit more. Trying to get settled into their rotation. Yoder goes back row to McCutcheon. McCutcheon finds Schultz. Amelia Schultz on the big swing. And it's 8-5. And she has continued to command the front line when it comes to kills here this evening. That is her 11th of the evening. Brought across again by Tech. Rodriguez blocked up front by Hans. Hans finds the connection up front and keeps it inside the box. Take a look at that again one more time. Timeout, Yellow Jackets. And the commanding block up front makes it 9-3, and IT with the advantage here in the third. Back in a moment.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
We have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a Warrior. Go Warriors.
Well, Mai has the match turned on its head as the Warriors now up by 6, their largest lead of the night so far. As Defiance is trying to go for the sweep and trying to get a little bit of extra sleep here tonight. So that's a swing up time for the Yellow Jackets. But the Warriors again, the commanding start, getting 2-3 quick aces and forcing deflections to start here in the third. And looking to try to extend the match to go to 4. Not even further to try to maybe steal this victory and go for a reverse sweep. Here's another chance upcoming. Swung down, tip, and got it! Hans again answers the call. As Kira Hans, the freshman outside hitter from Independence. Already 8 kills for the night. This one sailed across, dug up by Dickinson. That's going to be a deflection, and that is going to be on the board and in. And the chance of Tech, yes, certainly ring it out here at the Schaefer Center. And the lead extended back to 7, 11-4 IT. Here's a chance for Hans, nearly had the ace off the hands of Shimon. Still kept live, they got to go back row. Snyder, yes sir! Lauren Snyder getting the tip on the opposite side. And it's an 8-point game, 12-4 here in the third. The Warriors looking every much so like they're ready to ride the momentum. This swing is tipped across. Goes back over to Matling. That one blocked down and in. As Taylor Krabs gets her first kill of the night on the up front block. And the lead down to 7. Again, Defiance really started the first 2 sets with a strong surging start to their sets. Indiana Tech taking a few notes in the third. Can they stay on to a strong surging start? Or will Defiance find a way to rally back and try to finish this in a sweep? Tip over again. Snyder. Down and out of the box. Just sails into the Defiance bench, the DC bench, and it's 12-6. IT up top. The Warriors again, certainly nothing left to lose as Clement gets this over. Into the net, we play off. So Warriors over that halfway mark, trying to get one tally on the board in terms of games. Keep in mind the Warriors, their only wins this season have been done by sweeps. Technically, you could count a reverse sweep if the Warriors did come back to win this. Into the net against Defiance, and we play on. Saved over by McCutcheon. McCutcheon again. Gets this across. Goes down to Clements. Gets it back. Opposite side. Snyder. Back again. Next over to Broadbeck. Broadbeck tip. Gets this live and over, but not enough. They say he grazed on the court in front of McCutcheon. And it's 14-7. So IT still with the advantage, but McCutcheon not quick to get to the points in time. So we continue to play on. 14-7 our score. Defiance has won the first two games in case you're just joining us. 25-14, 25-22. Swing tip down opposite side. They go to Clements. Back over to Broadbeck. Again front row. Snyder gets two hands on it. Now another chance. Locked over in time for Tumulance. Snyder. Back row they go. Connecting back on the opposite side. Again, they find Broadbeck. Again, swing over. Jacqueline Holloway gets it on the board. With a commanding swing up top. As we take a look at that again one more time. Strikes it down and in, and the lead up to 8. And the Warriors have certainly turned on the Jets. Blocked again! Alway again! The commanding swing and block up front makes it 16-7. The Warriors adding on to their largest lead here tonight. Alway again gets this over. Chance up, locked in, into the net, still kept live. Another push in the opposite direction. That is knocked over by McCutcheon. Down and in! 3 in a row! All way, all day! All the way, all day, we should say. And so, Indiana Tech has flipped the script here in the third, barring any monster collapse. We're going to a fourth. Broadbeck gets this one off the tip and back into it. And again, credit to the Warriors for bending, not breaking. Going back to overhearing that conversation. What do we have left to lose? We've got nothing to lose right now. We've got 2-0 and playing freely and openly. Hang on, we're looking to confirm that the point's going to stay, and it will. 17-8 our score. Hands again upcoming. They find Hammer. Hammer gets this over. Light tip up. And who else but Jacqueline Holloway. The lead back to 10. 18-8. And so the Warriors have certainly found a way to right the ship and have opened up the scoring and forced the deflections. And the blocks keep coming. That's 5 in a row for number 12. 5 attacks up front. Timeout, Yellow Jackets. 19-8 our score. Back in a moment. This is Tech Volleyball.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior. Want to know what it means to be a warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a warrior's shoes.
Well, the Warriors have certainly said we are not going quietly into the night and have made a statement here in set number 3 as they lead it by 11. So really 2 blowout sets back-to-back. One on the side of the Yellow Jackets as they won the second 25-14. Rather close first set, 25-22 advantage for Defiance. But Tech trying to make a statement and force this at least to a fourth. Try to go for the reverse sweep if they can seal that one too. Chance again upcoming. Gets this one swung down and in. Gabby Rodriguez on a commanding swing. And it's 19-9 advantage of IT. Rodriguez again. For the Yellow Jackets as it stands in the season. Certainly as it stands in the match, get your her numbers in just a second. McCutcheon gets this one across. Chance again tipped over. Finding back to Clements. Clements tipped down. Right over by Tumlins. They go to Schultz. Amelia Schultz on the swing. And it's 20-9 in advantage of IT, and they've certainly continued to really bust the door open here in this third set, and with good reason. Feels very similar to some of the performances we saw during the Liz Lukowski Classic last weekend. Chance lobbed over by Rodriguez. They go back to Schultz. Schultz off the tip, still kept live. Back in the hands of Broadbeck. Gets it over to Rodriguez. Rodriguez again up front. They go this time. Olivia break them up front. And now the Warriors up by a baker's dozen. 21-9 here in the third. Anna Tyke now ready to bring it across. Tyke goes into the net. 21-10, and a big reverse opportunity certainly presenting itself at the moment. Hasn't happened yet, though. Chance upcoming for Yoder. They go to McCutcheon. McCutcheon again. Swung down in the face. Take a look at that again one more time. And it's a 12-point game yet again. And the Warriors coming out on all cylinders, playing like there is no tomorrow. Off the hands of Shady Broadbeck. 23-10. And all Bacare in a third set. Wood gets it across. Look up by Broadbeck. Goes to Rodriguez on the tip. Saved by Wood. Three ball chance upcoming, brought over by Matling. This one slowed down, still kept live. They go again. Blocked up front and got it. Taylor Kraft with a big block, and it's 23-11. Warriors still up front. Only 2 left to go to force this into set number 4. What a big comeback we have seen from IT here in this third set. This swing gets it over. Now another chance, but out of the box. They were looking for a tip, did not get it. 23-12. So Defiance now facing that prospect of having to play another set, attack once nothing more. They'd love to finish this off in 5. Chance again, tipped, saved live by Yoder. Rodriguez brings it over in time. Now another chance, off the hands of Kira Hines. And it's set point IT. Commanding swing across, coming in from number 8, and Kira Hans. Hans, dug up by Dickinson. Gets this tipped over and out of play. They're able to get the deflection off IT, so we play on. 24-13 our score here in the third. IT with the advantage. The Warriors still trying to push. Ever so closer. Chance again upcoming. Button for Kate Suter. Suter steps it out. And that is how we go to set number 4. There is nothing left to lose, says IT. Only more to gain. Back in the fourth in a moment.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior. Want to know what it means to be a Warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a Warrior's shoes.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
We have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a Warrior. Go Warriors.
You want to know what's possible at Indiana Tech? Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a Warrior.
We go to the fourth here at Indiana Tech as the Warriors storm back in set number 4 and win it 25-13. So just like that, we've got some more volleyball for you right here tonight. And it's been, again, lopsided efforts. You take a look at the second and third set. Really only one set that kind of stood the test, at least in terms of scoring back and forth we go. That was in set number 1 where, again, Defiance is up by 1.7 points in the first, but Indiana Tech trying to claw their way back. We've caught up with some of the other scores going on in the WHAC. 5 matchups on the docket here tonight, as most of these have gone final. As Northwestern Ohio sweeps it 3-0. Cornerstone sweeps over Siena 3-0. Lawrence Tech, a 3-0 sweep winner over Michigan Dearborn. Defiance gets the first point off the tip to start the fourth. other matchup on the docket, which is still in progress. That one, Persian maybe going to Rochester. They need 17-15 in the third. They lead that match 2-0. It's a possibility we might be the only match that does not end in a sweep here tonight. There's a net there. Yes, there is. I'll tell you the other matchups coming up just a little bit later on as time permits. But so far, it has been really one dominant Tech set, one dominant Defiance set. Defiance, however, just happened to get the first set 22-25. Warriors way from behind, trying to dig themselves out of the hole. And that one sails out of the box. Taking 2-1. Take a look at the game summary between these two teams. Tech now leading in kills 38-32. It's Tech here. 18-11. Defiance with 7 aces. Tech with 6. Service errors, however. Defiance just picked up their 8th. They've led on the blocks solo tonight 4-0. 4 blocks assists, 10 blocks assists tonight for Indiana Tech. Not only they've done a great job blocking, but they've done it together. The advantage. Individual scoring leaders. The Yellow Jackets, 3 players with 8 different kills, including Gabby Rodriguez wearing number 7, number 14, Shelby Clements, and Trini Broadbeck wearing number 25 with 8 kills. But more has been coming on the board for number 6, and Olivia Kraka, the Auburn middle blocker freshman from Auburn, Indiana. Trying to battle back late here in this 4th set. Trying to force a 5th. As that one sailed in time in the hands of Shelby Clements. 4-3 advantage of Defiance. Yellow Jackets again still with a lot of work left to do. It's number 27 and Amina Shamon. Gets this over. Up on the opposite side by Tech. Go again, this time. Down to Hans. Hans gets the answer immediately to make it now 4-4. And IT, again, just kind of trading points with the Yellow Jackets as it stands. Hans now getting the chance to bring it up. Hans lobs this across. Goes over to Clements, gets the tip inside. We're starting to see again these two teams really try to trade points to each other and see who can at least try to get a bigger blow and a bigger swing up front and keep those hits coming against each other. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Another chance again, this time brought up from Wood. Goes to Clements. Veteran core up front for Defiance right now. Two senior leaders for IT on the floor as it stands. Wood sails it out. They were looking for the tip, but could not get it. So we'll have to go in the reset. On the court right now for Tech, you have number 10, and Kristen Matlin, number 19, and Lauren Snyder, number 2, and Elsie McCutcheon, number 5, and Emmeline Wood, number 6, Olivia Franco. 8 in Kira Hans. Hannah Tyke coming in for Hans, or for Franco, I should say. As that one sails out. And again, one of the serving specialists of Elkhart. An opportunity to try to even it up. Here we go. Tyke gets this one down. Have another chance. Sweet tip it in. And the commanding swing across from Lauren Olenek, the senior defensive specialist from Sylvania. And it's a 2-point game, 7-5 here in the 4th. Defiance trying to shut this down in 4. twice last weekend right here in the Lizakowski tournament. Finishing with 4, we should say. Other 2 are sweeps. Olynyk got it inside. Lauren Olynyk gets the stretch across and back on the board. A lead back to 8-5 here in this all-important 4th set. Warriors again have to try to keep battling back here. This one brought over and across. Go back to Snyder off the tip. Save for the meantime over to Clements. Blitz lobs this over. Dug up in the meantime by McCutcheon. McCutcheon again, still kept over. With a great save in the back row from Alway. Now another chance, tipped over. Snyder again outside. Still gets it to go. They go for the tip off Olynyk. Won't do anything there. And a free ball chance from McCutcheon. They go back, lost again. Runback tries to keep it, still kept live, and going to be a quad hit no matter what. The Warriors cut it back to 2, 8-6. Here in set number 4. Another chance upcoming for Kristen Matlack. Sails it over in time. Nearly a dunk opportunity. But not today, says Jalen Tomalitz. As Tomalitz gets it on the board. And it's a 3-point game. And Defiance again trying to get the last laugh here. Tech trying to play on. Here on Klein Court tonight. Chance up for Schultz. Is it on the box? It is not. Debatable, but from our vantage point, it looks like it might have grazed the back. As it will go back to the replay monitor again once more. So we go back to the monitor for the 3rd time tonight to see if they did see that graze on the challenge. Again, the new system at the NAIA level going to the replays. It's the first time that we've seen it here this season. Again, they were looking to see if maybe the previous play did hit on the court or not. So something we'll have to keep in mind as we'll wait for the official call from our down official in just a moment. Well, after this match, it is going to be over 2 weeks until you get a chance to see your Warriors again right back here at the Schaefer Center. As they'll be deep in WAC play, 3 games on the road, headed to Northwestern Ohio at Racer Gymnasium on Friday night, 7 p.m. start time. And next weekend, a Michigan trip up to Grand Rapids as they'll take on Cornerstone on Friday the 19th and Aquinas on Saturday the 20th. And they'll be right back here at home for a triple header of sorts, we should say. They'll take on Michigan Dearborn on Friday the 26th. We'll go on the air just before 7 p.m. right here on the Indiana Tech Digital Network. And then a twin header with Madonna beginning at noon. And then taking on the University of Puerto Rico, Rio Piedras at 4 p.m. This game's coming up on September 27th, we should say. So that'll be the next time we will join you from the Schaefer Center on the 26th against UM Dearborn. Of course, obviously to keep up with all things Indiana Tech, be sure to log on to IndianaTechWarriors.com and follow them on all the socials, including X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. Well, it's been an interesting matchup here tonight, and what could be kind of a crucial point that could turn the tide. We saw this happen in the second set, where a point that we thought was going to be awarded to Tech actually ended up being overruled, and then going back to Defiance. And then the Yellow Jackets just go on an absolute swarm in set number 2 to win that by 11. But instead of bending, instead of breaking down completely, Tech battled back and got a commanding 25-13 win in the third. So now they're going to have to try to battle back a little bit more here in the fourth. So we are still waiting to see on the call if they did see that graze the line or not. Coach Matt Fishman looking and watching with intrigue as it stands right now. So that's at least what's on the schedule upcoming for, at least for Indiana Tech over the next couple of weeks. We will be back with you until the 26th for a 7 p.m. start time. Meanwhile, for Defiance, they head over to Lourdes coming up on Friday night over in Sylvania. And then next week we'll take on UM Dearborn and Lawrence Tech. The point is upheld. And it's going to stay with Defiance as they could not find any evidence to overrule a potential swing on the line. And so just like that, it is now a 4-point game. The Yellow Jackets trying to keep it alive. Near ace opportunity, still saved. Free ball from Hans coming on the opposite side. Now back again in Defiance territory. Swung off in the hands of Rodriguez. Gets it across. Finds Schultz. Back row they go. Now another chance. Gets this one in the box. They were looking for a tip. I don't know if they're going to get it. Coach Matt Fishman livid right now as they saw it graze the box. Will they have to go back to the monitor here on this one? Again, a debatable situation as back-to-back box grazes. This one, again, previously it looked like it might have hugged the line a little bit. But this one, they won't go to the monitor. So, just like that, Reflection gets it back on the board, 11-7. It's how do you battle back here in set number 4. But the back-to-back box calls going on the board for Defiance. If it would have leaned the other way, it would only be a 2-point game. This one swung up over in time. And it's 12-7 advantage of Defiance. And Tech will stop to think it over. Back in a moment. This is Indiana Tech Volleyball.
Want to know the difference between dreaming and doing? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and see what it's like to be a warrior. Want to know what it means to be a warrior? Yeah, pretty much everything. Visit Indiana Tech and walk a mile in a warrior's shoes.
5-point game here in the fourth as Defiance trying to pull away after some close calls inside the box, but now all you have to do is try to rally back here in the fourth. The Warriors have not been able to answer the rallies in the second and in the first. Try to come back. They got awfully close in the second. This first, we should say. They dropped that one 22-25. And they find a way to command, get a side out, and reset. Brought over by Broadbeck. Chance again upcoming for Hans. Off the tip. Finds Hammer. Back again to Broadbeck. Bounce off the net. And on the board. So the quick bounce on and off the net now a 4-point game. 12-8. The Warriors trying to extend this. Go to a fifth. McCutcheon gets this over. Now another chance. Swung off, got the tip. They go to Schultz again. Back row save from Hammer on the dig. Now again to Rodriguez. Rodriguez gets it in the back to Snyder. Snyder again gets this lobbed over. Down in front and in. As Yuli Carmelli gets her first point of the night. Actually, I beg your pardon, it's Hans who's going to get the point for that one, not Carmelli. As Hans has done a great job of, again, lighting up here in this late game situation. They go back to Schultz. Schultz again, back row they go. Chance again, brought up by Clements and got it. A deflection off the hands of Hans. The lead back to 4, 13-9 here in set number 4. So the Warriors again, gotta try to find a way to battle back here. This one lobbed up. Schultz can't get it to go. Or will she? It doesn't. Run into the net. The lead back to 5, 14-9. Again, Schultz has had a commanding night thus far for IT. 13 kills off 30 attacks. 4 errors to boot for the moment. Hans in the corner. This one, no debate. As Kira Hans, a freshman from Independence, Kentucky, making some noise too. That is her 12th kill of the night thus far. Potentially a season high for her as well. We'll have to confirm that later on. Chance Quinn again, swing, tip, blocked, kept live. Quad hit call. So the quad hit goes against Defiance, and the lead now down to 3. 14-11 here in the 4th. Another chance swung over. They got to go back top. They get it lobbed over opposite side. That is on the board. And a swing going wide for IT. 2-point game. And the Warriors rally back here to force a 5th. Here's the hands of number 5 in Wood. Gets this over. Tipped by Clements. So Clements getting the all-important insurance points. And multiple Yellow Jackets coming into the match. Amina Chabon returning, so is number 21 and Lauren Olenek. So the veteran core back up front. And back, we should say, for DC. They lead by 3. Can IT find a way back here? They get this back over. Chance again. Lobbed up front into the net. Still kept live. Saved by Kraken. Down and in this time for Taylor Kraft. As Kraft gets the big swing up front. And the lead back to 4. Chabon gets it over. Lob back to Wood. They go again, mid-row chance. Clements off the tip. Saved in a reset. Snyder, back row dig from Broadbeck. They go to Clements, off the tip. This one, saved by McCutcheon. Snyder on the free ball chance, gets it in time. But as it's set up for another tip, they look for a lift, and they say no lift, play on. Wood does not care! As Zimmeline Wood gets it in time, they were looking for the lift, but it doesn't matter. You got the point anyway. And the edge of the box coming as a benefit. Lopped back opposite direction we go. Another chance, swung off and tipped! This time, it's Olivia Cracom on the board. And it's 16-14 advantage of Defiance. But Indiana Tech trying to hustle all the way back. We knew we'd got a close set brewing. This one could very well be the one we've been looking for. Chance again upcoming. They go for the swing down and in time. This time it's Shelby Clements again, the Monrovia, Indiana native, to make it 17-14. Warriors certainly far from out of it. Quick 4-point rally can switch this thing up rather quickly. Maybe even 5. They get this swung off again to Creighton. Chance again upcoming. Finding Olenek. Olenek gets it across. Goes over to Snyder on the reset. 3-ball Chance. Now another swing. Up off the net, but a reach over going to go against Sky T. So they get ever so closer up front. It does not work, and it's 18-14 advantage of Defiance. So can the Warriors find a way to get back here in this one? A quick ace, this time from the hands of Clements. Clements, and the lead extended to 5 with 6 to go. IT takes a timeout. Defiance on the home stretch. Indiana Tech trying to prevent us from going home. Back in a moment.
From the first day, I felt very welcome at Indiana Tech.
I just really enjoy the classes and the vibe I get from all the other athletes and just the students here. Everybody's cool and everybody gets along really well.
I'm currently a senior, and since my freshman year, student life activities have really grown throughout campus, and there's so many ways that you can meet new people. You can go bowling, you can watch movies, and it's just really important to get involved on campus.
We have intramurals, anything from billiards to basketball. It's made student life very enjoyable.
I love Fort Wayne because there's always something going on, like festivals. I walk a bunch of the trails here locally. There's great restaurants. There's always something fun to do. You can never be bored here in Fort Wayne.
The school spirit at Indiana Tech is epic. It's everything. We had our first annual hockey game not too long ago. Everybody showed up, face paint, cowbells, Trojan hats, lawn gnomes. It was amazing. It makes it so worthwhile to be a Warrior. Go Warriors.
So as we continue on here in set number 4, it has certainly been a back and forth effort here in the 4th set, but Defiance able to find the edge thanks to the strong swings up front. Shelby Clements. Lately, number 21 in Lauren Olenek. Rotation coming well in time for Jeremy Thornburg and company, going with his veterans. Tech, however, still far from out of it. They've got some work to do. They got it off the tip of Hans. And a commanding swing again from their leader, and Shady Broadbeck. 20-14. But now they're looking to see, is that going to be a tip off the hands? If they're looking to try to go back again to the videotape. But it looks like, again, from our vantage point, Hans had a hand on it. You can hear the Defiance faithful expressing their displeasure. But unsure of, again, this will need to be challenged again once more or not. But as it stands right now, it's ruled a tip. And it's going to stay that way. 20-14. Tech trying to get the advantage. Gets this one across. Snyder answers back with a big swing of her own. Lawrence Snyder gets it up front. The lead down to 5, but again, 5 points is a major difference. 5 to finish it for Defiance, 5 for Tech to come back on. Brought over by Tyke. Broadbeck again, deflects this, off the floor and in. Yellow Jackets just 4 points away from their first ever win against Indiana Tech. Again, only 3rd meeting all time between these two teams with Defiance joining the league last season. Lobbed across from Martinez. Block again from Brubeck. 22-15. And Tech out of timeouts. And Defiance ever so closer. They lead by 7. Raised across to Martinez. Wood goes to the save. Hans gets it across the middle and in time. A big swing dig and saved off the hands of Crakem and Hans. Not gonna matter. Another big swing down and in for Lauren Olenek. And the lead extended to 8. And the Yellow Jackets just 2 away from finishing this one at 4. As the trainer coming on the court just a second to make sure that number 5, Wood, is good to go. But as the trainer comes on, a reminder, we'll be back on the air next week here on the Indiana Tech Digital Network. One game on the docket next week for you, as it'll be Campbellsville coming to town to take on Indiana Tech in women's soccer. That'll be a noon time special for real, 1 p.m. So a post-lunch special, I guess you could say. So we'll have that one for you coming up on Monday. Meanwhile, for volleyball, next time we'll be at home. Dearborn comes to town for a 7 o'clock start time, not until September 26th. We'll join you for that matchup. Here's the swing across from Martinez. Back to McCutcheon, deflected, saved by Hans. They go front row. Commanding swing up front again, this time with the hands of Rodriguez. But again, another save this time from Sharon. Broadbeck gets it in. And it's match point DC. And 1 away for getting their first ever win against Indiana Tech. Martinez gets it across. Lob back to Snyder. Another commanding tip up front, light tip we should say, from Tomalutz. Chabon. Lobbed back, tipped, saved by Hans. Snyder, is it in? It is in! And Snyder gets the corner. So not so fast. Still a lot of work left to do, but only a 8-point game. 24-16. Here we go again, opposite side. Brought back to Olenek. That's it. Defiance has knocked off Indiana Tech for the first time in program history. And they go 2-0 in a key early WAC victory. A strong battle back in the third for the Warriors, but Defiance too strong, too ready, as you can see their home student section rushing the court, or the visiting section rushing the court, the boys volleyball team. They made the trip here for this one. However, our player of the game tonight, multiple nominees for Indiana Tech. I have to give it to Kira Hans, 13 kills, only 3 errors on 22 attacks, and 2 blocks assisted tonight in the win for Defiance. So we will see you in 2.5, or a little over 2.5 weeks, as we'll see you on the 26th as Dearborn comes to town to take on Indiana Tech. And of course, keep up with everything Indiana Tech on IndianaTechAthletics.com. For now, Joe Northern saying so long for the Schaefer Center. Tech falls in 4, 3-1. So long.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I decided if I was going to come to Indiana Tech, I was going to be a different kind of instructor. I was really going to focus on connecting with students, teaching the students the theory that they needed and also the practical applications.
Very practically what that looks like is smaller class sizes. So my class sizes are the 8 to 10 up to maybe 20. And that's backed up with we have 18 hours of office hours every week. I'm sitting in my office waiting for students to come in to talk about anything. It doesn't just have to be with the classroom.
In the College of Engineering,